Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Episode 174 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We are here with our college football segment. Norwood, how you feeling, brother?
I am feeling like I don't have a team that is going to do anything during the next couple days. So I'm just here to watch.
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm in the same boat too now. So, this past weekend or this past Friday,
Welcome to Cancun, my boy.
Georgia played Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl.
Whoop
Uh,
ass bowl.
and it started off with a terrorist attack. I, I I guess it's a terrorist attack
Yeah,
because
it was
it's
active
homegrown.
domestic act of domestic terrorism. That is what it's called.
Yeah. So of course, you had Georgia play Notre Dame. You had the man drive down Bourbon Street, uh, with the terrorist attack. So then the game was postponed, and then after the game was postponed, I mean, that was a thorough ass whooping. Georgia played Notre Dame. They lost 23-10. Uh, I think I don't even think I did a reaction video for this one, but my initial reaction is the defense did what they were supposed to do. The defense theoretically only allowed 9 points. Uh, the offense, we were hoping that Gunnar Stockton was going to be that guy.
No, we weren't. You were.
Well, I was. Well, I say we, I meant Georgia. I don't mean you, and for the most part, Gunnar Stockton actually didn't look that bad. Uh, but the receivers let him down. The left side of the offensive line let the team down. And then there's Parker Wilson, who also let them down. So um,
Do
it
you
was a
feel
lot going on.
confident?
Huh?
Do you feel confident about Gunnar Stockton being your QB1 going into next season?
No, because they've already reported that they're actively going to be in the transfer portal. I think, I don't know what that was. That you? Oh,
That's my.
I think you've seen. I think the experimental stage of the transfer portal is over. I think that Georgia's going to get in there heavy. I think they've already landed the two guys from USC, the two brothers, former 5-star receiver,
Mm-hmm.
and a 4-star safety. Zachary Branch, I think, was the best receiver on that team in USC. Uh, Real shifty guy. So they already got those two, and they're looking for a quarterback. So it's all of that to say, I don't know if they'll have Gunnar Stockton. It's a Kirby guy. But I don't know if you can survive with Kirby guys at quarterback anymore. But he sure didn't hurt himself. I mean, he played well. You got to play as well as you could.
Hey, I like it. That means that at least Florida will have a better quarterback than you guys next season.
He had a better quarterback than we had this season. Um, but we do want to send our T's and P's to Kirby Smart though. Smart's father, Sonny Smart, passed away 2 days ago at 12:15 a.m. He had actually fallen on New Year's Eve and fractured his hip. He underwent surgery, but complications arose from his surgery. He was surrounded by his wife and 3 children, Carl, Kirby, and Kendall. And he ended up passing away. So T's and P's to Kirby. He didn't even get a chance to really
That's
deal with the loss of the Sugar Bowl at that point. It was
right.
just so.
And like contextually, like he fell. So you have the first incident where you're like, oh, my father like has this incident, and then he's like, oh, we got to rush him to surgery. Then we have this football game. Then after the surgery, he passes away. I'm the biggest Florida fan that you'll meet, but this is tough. And of course, my thoughts and prayers go out to him. That's a that's a rough week, man. That I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah, Kirby said in the press conference, this is the hardest year he's ever had to coach at any level. Just because dealing with everything, the adversity on the field, dealing with everything off the field, and then to top it all off with this to basically end the season. Nobody wishes, like you said, nobody wishes that on
No,
anyone.
definitely not.
And then while in New Orleans, you had that domestic terrorist attack. We want to send T's and P's out to um, ex Princeton Tiger football player uh, Beck. Said that he was a really, really good player from 2017 to 2019. He ended up passing away, being caught in the crossfire of that domestic terrorist attack. He was actually
Yeah.
down there with his brother, just visiting. He worked for Goldman Sachs on Wall Street.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Of course, thoughts and prayers to all families of people who are both injured, because there are a lot of people, there are 30 or 40 some people who are injured, and the people who actually passed away. As a super unfortunate situation all the way around. I'm sure you guys have read all the details and all of that. Just want to keep everybody uplifted as much as we can, and also thoughts and prayers out to his friends and teammates. Man, it's tough to lose a friend like that.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially in that manner. Um,
Yeah,
it's probably the worst manner that you could lose a friend is a terrorist attack, because you don't. No matter how many times it happens, it's like you don't expect it to happen at certain places. I mean, college
no,
football sporting events are sacred. Like we don't take that for granted. Um, so
right. That's supposed to be kind of our escape from all the difficulties and worries of the world. Is hey, man, here for kind of leading up to it, and then you get the game. You get a little bit of time to just kind of focus on a game and not have to worry about all the things that are going on in the world, in your life, etc. And then it is a little bit disheartening to hear that New Orleans actually had the barricades up and just didn't put them up. That's disappointing as well. I read that in the news today.
yeah. Well, that won't happen again, man.
Oh no.
But getting back
And I
to
mean, we also have to remember, man, that's where the Super Bowl is going to be here in a couple days.
yeah, I mean, they gonna have that place super locked down. So we'll see. Uh, but back to the Sugar Bowl, man. I knew, and I'll wrap this up because I mean I've talked about it. I've made videos. I've done all the things. Um, I knew it wasn't our day, right? I knew it wasn't our day when
Which means it was my day.
I knew it wasn't our day when this shit happened. So Parker Jones is a walk-on red shirt something. Sophomore, freshman.
It was past tense, I assume.
He was a sophomore, what you call it? Walk-on cornerback. Basically a coach in training. You normally call them either coaches in training or you call them like, he's the next equipment guy. He wasn't going to see the field. He's there basically as a tackling dummy. But he did some dumb shit. So you always are supposed to be out of the way. If you played any type of sports, if you watch football, I'm assuming you understand football if you're here with this podcast. You know that you are supposed to have what you call a get back coach. A get back coach is the guy that keeps you out of the way, the players out of the way of the white part of the sideline so that they don't get in the way of the referee. Georgia, if you actually watch this game, was in the game until really the third quarter. Poor coaching decisions, all that's cool. But they started off strong. The defense started off strong, and Gunnar Stockton found Arian Smith for a 70-yard pass that got us down to the 4-yard line. And it turns out that the ref, if you could see the ref right here, he ran into the walk-on, and that ended up being a penalty, 15 yards. No warning, no anything. Because he made contact with the ref, there is no warning. And as you can see all the memes, because there's no warrant, because it's contact, there's no warning. 15-yard penalty. Notre Dame holds him to a field goal, and the rest is history. Um, sometimes, well, I'll let you go. How you did you laugh at this?
Yes. Anytime that you guys have any pain or strife, I'm going to laugh. I enjoyed it. You could just see kind of the look on his face of like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. And for me, the biggest thing is not only laughing at you guys' pain is you gotta keep the refs safe. That's their area to make sure that they can be safe because as much as everybody on the field is running full speed, so are those guys. And running full speed and trying to watch the game, they need to be able to have a place to make sure that they don't get hurt or injured. And I mean, this could have been way worse than this had he kind of not gotten out of the way at least a little bit. I mean, easily concussion. We've seen referees, umpires, and stuff have major injuries from things like this. Just this, you can't do this, Parker.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Parker. I mean, we got highlights from high school. I mean, it's the reason he's a walk on. But there's probably, like you said, that'll be the last time you'll be on the sideline. They showed him 5 seconds later, he was behind the bench. Like they had him way behind
Man,
the bench.
best thing you could have done is gone right to the locker room, big dog.
Yeah, and I always wonder. I said, man, you know why them Texas schools never get sideline warning? Well, let me tell you something. Texas State, man, right there. If for those that are watching, if you can't see what's happening right now, it is Texas State's get back guy, who basically says, "Stay behind the sideline." Has an entire gun right here. Let me tell you what will get people back quickly: a firearm. Let me tell you where it'll get people back quickly: a firearm with no gun laws. You will get the hell out the way.
Unfettered, unfettered. Now, I don't really think that that's their get back guy. I think this is probably just one of their police officers. But typically, the police officers are in like the police blues. This guy has the Texas State looks like jacket on and some jeans, and he just got that pistol on him right there. I got it on me, and if anybody get to getting, I'm gonna get to shooting.
And I probably
Yeah.
don't miss because I go to the gun
Oh,
range
don't
every
miss.
day.
Don't miss. You like old boy in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's funny. with no aim at all. Bird just out there shooting. So yeah, Georgia lost. And
Yay! Can get a
so
round of
then
applause for that?
oh, so then you had all right. If you want to start that, we can start it.
My team been lost. It'll be next year before you can do that.
I know, but I ain't gonna forget now. uh, But speaking of my team, so Jaden Rashada, there has been rumors that there's going to be at least 30 players to go into the transfer portal from Georgia. We've seen 4 already. Either 30 players go for the transfer portal or declare for the NFL. I think we've seen 11 so far, 5 to the portal, 6 to the NFL, or 6 to the portal, 5 to the NFL, something like that. But basically, everybody that's a redshirt senior or a redshirt junior is out of there. You also are everybody's calling for coaching changes, but one of the things that we're starting to see, and there's another quarterback from Boise State that was Malachi Nelson. I think that's his name. He was the
Correct.
number 1 quarterback 2023. He's now on his 3rd school, and he hasn't played it down, if I'm not mistaken.
Headed to UTEP.
Jaden Rashada, same thing. So except for he played, he committed to Miami, got an NIL offer from Florida in June of 22, committed to Miami, got an NIL offer November of 2022 to commit to Florida, to flip to Florida. He then signs his NIL to go to Florida, and Florida reneges on the NIL. They back out. He decommits from Florida by not getting his money, sues. Well, I'm sorry. Hasn't sued yet, but then goes and commits and signs to Arizona State. Plays a year at Arizona State, is pretty good, then transfers to Georgia after the 2023 season in April 2024, starts the lawsuit to Florida, and ends up being the 3rd string quarterback at Georgia. And he has played 1 season, and now he's going somewhere else.
So for me, this is interesting. I think that this first thing is, when is enough enough? How many teams are you going to try to either commit to or attempt to play for? I think that this also clears, I'm not going to say it clears Billy Napier, but Billy is doing a very good job of getting of making this portion disappear between his ability to flip guys, get young guys recruits, Lagway's emergence, winning big games at the end of the season. This is almost forgotten. And when this first kicked off, this was really bad. This was super problematic. But Billy's been able to kind of, and I give you credit, you called it. He's spun it. He spun it about as well as you can spin it. And I mean, Rashada leaving Georgia now, it looks like, I'm not saying that he's the problem or Billy didn't promise him something and under deliver, but it now looks like Jaden Rashada has no commitment to anybody, and I think that it just kind of gets things off Billy a little bit, right or wrong. I'm just telling you how I feel like it's
Mm,
going to be the perception.
I disagree with that a little bit. I do agree that he was not committed to. He's not committed to being committed. He's not, because he wasn't committed to Miami. But at the same time, at 17 years old, they're offering you his NIL deal. If you remember, was allegedly, you know, the what's the guy from BYU that just signed? It was one of those deals. It was,
AJ Devanta.
yeah, it was supposed to be what, $4, 5, $6 million. So I mean, if you gave me, if I'm 17 and I can play anywhere and I choose Miami, and then you come from Florida and give me $4 or $5 million to transfer, I'm assuming that I can play in the SEC. So then when you renege, well, now I got to go to where anybody's open, because in February of 2023, all of the spots are taken. Everybody signed, and so now he commits to Arizona State, thinking, hey, I can play in the SEC. Also, I played at Arizona State, and then there's uncertainty about that team with the whole realignment. Remember, they went to the Big 12. They weren't there.
Right.
They was in the Pac 2 or Pac 12 at the time. So now I don't want to be in the Big 12. They don't, for whatever reason, Georgia comes calling and says, hey, you enter the portal transfer. We'll give you some money. You can come over here. I don't see how all of that is his fault, other than, you getting taken for a ride because people promising you money. But I don't see how he's a problem. I do agree that it gets it away from Billy. You're
Yeah,
now
that's
2 degrees
my biggest
removed.
thing. Yeah, it's the space, and like you said, it doesn't look like he's committed to being committed to anything. And I mean, you're right. Things happen. That's kind of the climate that we're in. But his level of movement is going to give people pause, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yep, yep, yep. So in other games for the quarterfinals, Ohio State absolutely, no, I'm sorry. Let me, before I get there, Texas survived Arizona State. Cam Scatterboo almost pulled off one of the biggest upsets in recent college football history, especially in the playoff. It had to be the biggest upset in playoff history. Um, Cam Scatterboo and Arizona State took Texas to overtime, and Texas converted on 2 4th downs to win the game. And that is how they converted on 4th down to send it to overtime. And then once they got into overtime, they converted on 4th down to score the game winning touchdown.
And even though he wasn't able to get it all the way home, he surely made himself some money.
Boy,
Uh,
all that trash he was talking before, saying I'm the best back. We don't believe you, but you might be number two. Because I mean, he threw a touchdown, he caught a touchdown, he ran 2 touchdowns, he was throwing up on the sideline. Like, he was doing absolutely everything he could for that team to win. So shout out to Cam
right.
Scatterboo.
And I mean, somebody will draft that kid, and whether he's, RB1 or not, that's up for debate. But one thing for sure that I believe, I think I said it last week, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it until I see him in the NFL, is that kid's a football player at some position somewhere on a team. There are not there are not 49, 50 players on every team better than him.
Oh no,
Somebody
yeah.
can
You
use
got to
that
play
kid.
him somewhere. And then so Texas is in. We talked about Notre Dame, Penn State. We knew that they were going to beat Boise State. Ashton Genty. I mean, they literally just put 11 people on the line of scrimmage and said, "You can't beat us," and that's what they did. And they threw the ball to their tight end, number 44, all game. So that was cool. Let me tell y'all, Jeremiah Smith in Ohio State absolutely trounced Oregon. Jeremiah Smith had, and I told y'all, and I remember I actually made a video. Y'all go back and check, follow us, like, follow, subscribe, because I told y'all on Monday. I told y'all, I said, I don't know if Oregon actually has a DB to guard Jeremiah Smith. And people were arguing with me in the comments. Oh, you don't know Oregon's DBs. You
I
must
don't
not
know
know
if the
about Dan Lanning.
I don't know if the Panthers have somebody to guard that man. What are you talking about? The NFL.
Bruh, I understand Dan Lanning knows defense. He came from Georgia. He started up under Saban and Kirby and all of those things. Sometimes talent will outweigh coaching. Jeremiah Smith, I told y'all in the Tennessee game, I said, hey, it looks like Ohio State just decided we're only going to throw the ball. Whenever he's not covered, we're going to throw him the ball. I said that when they played Tennessee. Now, he came out and said it before this game. Hey, one-on-one, we taking a shot every time. And let me tell you what they did the whole first half. One-on-one, shot. Reverse. Slant. Out. Fade. Whatever you want to do. I'm telling you, he looked like Julio, bro. He looks just like young Julio Jones.
That's what I was going to say. Well, I was going to say something that, I mean, I think AJ Terrell is good. This guy,
Mammoth.
1 year removed from one guy removed from playing high school football might very well give AJ Terrell a rough day. And that ain't no slight on him. This kid and that kid at Alabama are just really young and really talented football players. Congratulations to an excellent season. 70 catches, 1,224 yards, 14 touchdowns in the Big Ten.
Where they run the ball. 3 yards in the cloud of dust conference. He clearly a stat. I always, social media, I try not to stay away from the hype. Well, I try to stay away from the hype. And, you see the hype about him. Oh, he's the youngest freshman, or he lost his black stripe, his welcome to the team faster than anybody. I'm like, man, I don't care. Somebody's going to do that every year, bro. This evolution. Everybody's going to do this. I was totally wrong.
Yeah.
You
won't see this
exceeded every
sure.
expectation. Every single one. So, he played well. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to take a 4-minute break. 4-minute break. I have to go get my beverage. Norwood is not drinking, but look, I'm a Falcons fan. And as Raheem Morris started his press conference off with today is a bad day. Today is not a good day, is what he said. Y'all remember, like, follow, subscribe. That's what he said. Today is not a good day. That's how he started off his press conference.
Today?
Yeah.
Today? What today got to do with anything? Boy, you was at work yesterday. Yesterday wasn't a good day. Today is a great day because you're still employed, at least for now.
So, with that being said, guys, y'all.
I see it now. I see it now.
Yeah, we'll talk about Gerard Mayo, but it's Bloody Sunday. Give us about a couple minutes. Y'all remember, like, follow, subscribe. Get your beverage. It's 11 o'clock. We winding on down. Until next time.
What should they do? Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Be in for it.